up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel, and welcome in if you are new here. I'm Mrs. Best, and we have our fabulous co-host, James.
Hey,
James.
hey.
Welcome in. I appreciate you for being here. You guys, James does have a link to his channel in the description. His channel is called the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. So please tap into that. We tend to recap a lot of shows together. Definitely tap in. He does Housewives of Atlanta, Married to Medicine, shows I love but did not want to cover worth a damn, and vice versa for him on this channel. So be sure to tap in. He also does updates, videos, and other things. But we are here, you guys, to go over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. This episode was titled Screenshots Fire, Season 12, Episode 23. Let's welcome our chat people. Hi, Shani. To my Gemini twin. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, Kevin Reynolds. I know you do not watch this show. He said, never seen one episode. You're not missing much. Just ignorance. Just ignorance. James, you have a question in the chat. When is your next live?
Great question, Channy. My next live will be tomorrow, actually, at 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Specific time. Me, Mrs. Best, and also Shayna_MCD will be going live to predict Real Housewives of Atlanta and go over the characters that made it, both full-time cast members and friends of. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. So that will be my next live.
Yes, yes. And then after that, he has a live on Monday, right?
Yes, and after that, I have a live Monday because we know that Bell Collective is no longer here right now, and we know that Carlos has not got Love and Marriage Detroit going yet. Love and Marriage Huntsville is over, so Monday it is. Married to Medicine, and then the premiere of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No worries, Kevin. I appreciate you for dropping in. You're not missing much, if we're being honest. Yes, that is tomorrow. I hope to see you there, Shani. It's always fun with them too. I enjoy them. Oh, I'm so tired, y'all. And I'm hungry, so bear with me. But let's get into this episode. Rashida and Kirk are preparing a room for Cannon. They even got a pillow with a K. Rashida feels Jasmine has not made her son a priority. Rashida, I don't care how mad you are at this woman because she slept with your husband and made a baby, but I don't think it's okay for her to speak on the type of mother that Jasmine is, especially when you refuse to talk to her. And it sounds like the little boy don't be as around as often as Rashida would, or as the boy don't be around his daddy that much for that to be all of that. Kirk may send money, but don't sound like the kid and him spend much time. But they have a conversation about what Jasmine has done to cause them to feel the need to have Cannon to live with them. Why wasn't the room prepped before if Kirk is such a present father? If he's such a great father, or if he's actually seeing his kids on whatever weekends that or agreement that him and Jasmine had, then why wouldn't Cannon have already had a bedroom in their home?
Thank you.
That's what I think a lot of people will miss. I don't get that. Regardless of how the baby got there. Yes, thank you, Shani. Sounds like a storyline. She don't want that baby there. She made that very clear seasons ago. And honestly, the baby shouldn't have to be there. However, it's not fair to a child to be limited in their ability to feel equal to the rest of their siblings. And just because their dad is a damn idiot who can't keep his one-eyed monster in check. Like, doesn't work that way, but I think it's important everybody pay attention to that because y'all talking about she ain't made the son a priority while you're setting up a bedroom for a kid that's been on this earth for at least 8 years. Why wasn't that done before? So you can't say that Jasmine caused it. Kirk, you were married. You stepped outside of your marriage. This is what happens when you lie down with heifers that are willing to get pregnant and let you fuck them raw dog while you married publicly. And now you're surprised that she's not the most present parent and is constantly asking you for money. The only reason that girl lied down with you, Kirk, was for money. Have you looked at yourself in the mirror, sir? Just saying. Just saying. How'd you feel about that scene with Jasmine and them? Or not Jasmine, but the K in the bed and all of that. How'd you feel, James?
I just feel like for me, if I was Jasmine, I would subpoena this footage to the court to say he ain't even got a room for my child, yet he want full custody, and my child's been his father for just about 10 years. So what does that tell you, judge?
Mhm.
But I'm not a present parent. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's exactly what I would do. Just to be just as petty, you
I
know?
don't believe them. I think I think they all have peace. And I think that room and that pillow belong to somebody else because they named their kids after him. It seems with the letter K, they've spoken about this. So they're trash. They are trash. Shanny sounds like a storyline. He should have his own room and his own clothes there. No need to pack a bag from mommy's house. That's right. That is right. When my parents split up, my dad got his own apartment. My mom kept the house. And when he got that apartment, he went and got me all brand new clothes, my siblings' new clothes. We had our own rooms, all of that. We had beds before he had beds. He was sleeping on the floor, but you can be a parent and not be with the mother of your kids and still put your kids first. So that's crazy. Looks like a bitch that winning agrees also. She said Tasha K said the real father of that little boy is Rod. She's always said that. Likely, it looks that way. The Georgia prune does not want that little boy. The Georgia prune. That is a new one. I love that. That's actually catchy. It's stupid to me, and Rashida and Kirk need to come off this show. They're an embarrassment to marriage. They're an embarrassment to couples. They are an embarrassment to Black people. They are an embarrassment to Black love. I mean, queens ain't out here with they men making babies on them. I'm just saying. People use these terms too loosely. But we move on to discuss Sierra. She's going to be meeting with Rennie Rucci to sit down and talk out their issues because it seems as though there are more issues than just a comment about Rennie not wanting Sierra to babysit her child because of the commotion that comes with her. And then Rennie makes a comment that she's not sure if Sierra actually wants to make peace or if it's a TV thing. And here's what irks me about this. Right, somebody sure do. Scotty, I enjoy his recaps and things of that nature. He does a really good job. He does a really, really good job. But yeah, this irked me because the moment that Rennie made the comment that she's not sure if Sierra actually wanted peace or if it's a TV thing, why can't you make peace on TV? Separate from that, this is new. I feel like people are in Rennie's ear. That's just how I feel because these are comments that we heard other women make about Sierra, but it seemed like Sierra was very good to Rennie and Rennie was defending Sierra while pregnant and with all of that. She also knows what Sierra's been going through. So I'm sorry, to be friends with people, you do not have to stop your life and stuff just to support them all the time. You don't. If it's something like, let's say your friend loses a parent or something, it's okay to drop something and support them and things of that nature. But at the same time, Rennie can't really say anything that Sierra's done to her. And Sierra, if people keep saying that they feel like you're only dealing with them on TV, then why don't you just own that? And like Kenya Moore has done that several times, Phaedra has. Just call them your co-workers and stop acting like you're their friends because Rennie and Sierra was supposedly very close. Now, Sierra tells Rennie that there's no commotion when it comes to her. And Rennie basically says that Sierra is too wrapped up in her own world. And this is where Sierra mentions that Rennie has made it to other events, but did not find it important to visit Sierra in the hospital. And in my opinion, it feels like Sierra was upset that nobody visited her in the hospital. And the one person on the cast that she may have expected to visit her, I think, would be Rennie. But at the same time, that woman was hella pregnant. And then she had a newborn. You are the least of her concerns. I feel like as women, as girlfriends, if your friend is pregnant, it don't matter if they got anything else going on. Those are the people you give grace. Unless they're just being messy and talking about you like a dog, why are you mad that she didn't come visit you in the hospital? And a bitch they went and I agree with that to get a big old ugly tattoo that you put yourself in the hospital for, ignored the tattoo artist thinking it's numbing cream. Like the numbing cream ain't never gonna wear off and put your body in the shot. So Sierra do be full of it. She does. But Sierra then mentions that Rennie never told her that she needed her after her mom died. And that pissed me off. That did piss me off because how dare you make the comment that someone whose parent has died, like they have to tell you they need you. That's a time when people are not thinking of that. If you've ever lost someone, it's horrible. I've lost two best friends in 2 years, my closest friends, two of them gone in 2 years, right? So I can imagine that pain, and I'm still not over it. I can imagine if those friends were like my mom or my dad, like that would genuinely break me. So if and that's called empathy. I've not gone through it, but it's called empathy. And the fact that someone would have to tell you who's supposed to be a friend of yours that they need you after their parent dies, throw them away. I'm not saying the girl has to get on a plane, but for for Sierra to say that to her, in my opinion, was low. James has spoken about losing someone very close to him, his father, and we offer public condolences to you always, James, for that. But what if I would have came to you, James, and was like, "Well, you didn't tell me you needed me through that." What would you like? That's so fucking low.
So let me kind of expand on that. So I have a friend right now that I'm currently going through that with. Um, and it's very hard because she and I have been friends for 15 years. Um, I've told her constantly because she's always accused me of never calling her. She goes, I never hear from you. You never call, but she never calls me either. So I told her, I said, look, losing my father was hard on me. And I don't have the capacity because at the time my life was in shambles. So I was trying to put my life back together on top of trying to grieve one of my parents. So when she told me I never call or anything, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put you on ice for a minute because
Mm,
I shouldn't have to tell you, I shouldn't have to call you all the time. I shouldn't have to be the one making the effort when I've told you repeatedly, check on me to make sure that I am okay as a friend. Because I'm not trying to boast myself, but I'm always there when my friends call. Always. And if I don't pick up the phone, I'm calling you right back.
that's true. That is true. I can attest to that.
So seeing that triggered me in such a way where I'm currently going through, now I still love my friend and that's still my friend. But I kind of at this point have to move differently now because I'm noticing throughout the years, and that's what you do when friends do this. This is where you start to reassess other situations and other topics to see if this is a continuous pattern that this friend has. And luckily, I've had the time to think about it, and it is a continuous pattern. This friend also doesn't like me when I'm in a relationship. She prefers me to be single because I'm always available. So then I have to now reassess that because I'm about to get married soon. So for me, I'm like, damn, how do I tell my friend who I would love to have at my wedding? How do I tell her I'm getting married without her feeling away or with her trying to manifest it ending as she has told me with another relationship that I was in that she was manifesting it to end because she wanted me to always be around.
What the fuck?
Yes. So it's like, so yeah, that's where, so when I was watching these two, I was like, damn, I'm going through that right now. I'm going through that. And you start to peel apart the layers. So it's best to realistically, you can still love the person, love them from a distance, but honestly, you kind of have to put them on ice until you can figure out where they could fit in your life because you know outside of that, they're generally a good friend outside of those things. It's just those things are what's going on in my life right now, and I can't have her involved.
I don't think you could even say, and it's not me being protective over you or any of
Right.
that.
No,
Like,
I got you.
even listening to this professionally, I don't think you can say that someone's been a good friend in general and generalize it if they barely call you but want you available, manifest their relationships to end. You don't feel comfortable telling them you married. They don't like you unless you single. And then they lack empathy when somebody passes away. May I have this person's last four of their social security number, their
You
address,
so
and or their
crazy.
general zip code?
But no, just watching that scene just triggered me because I'm going through that right now. And how hard, and y'all don't understand how hard that is for me to have someone in my life that long of a time, and
Mm,
to realize that there's certain elements of me that they would prefer not to happen for me, which is crazy. Because I talk about being in love all the time. I talk about,
mhm,
wanting to rebuild my relationship with my father to that person.
mm.
And it's so crazy that that's the outcome that I got.
That's
And
so
as I said, I love her
unfortunate.
kids. I like those. Those are my. I was there at the hospital when both of her kids were born. So it's like it's hard for me. It really is. So I saw that scene and I almost cried because I know exactly what they both are going through individually, but at the same time, you just gotta, put them on ice.
I think that's important. Also, you sharing your situation in general. I think it's important to share because one, I appreciate you being open, but separately from that, it shows something so important. You find out who your real friends are when you go through shit in life. You really, really do. And it's not always about someone calling you constantly, checking on you constantly. Like me, James, to tell you, I ain't been on a flight to Arizona since like before COVID. But it's better to check on people virtually through text and to do things that way than to do nothing at all. You should always just support people too, whether you know them or not, when they lose someone, if they've, been good to you. That's crazy. But of course, things went left after she said that because we know Rennie got a temper anyway and is sensitive. Now, Sierra, you should not have brought up that girl's mother. You shouldn't bring up the dead when you're around the living, in my opinion, especially when they got nothing to do with it. It shows how selfish and shallow Sierra can be by doing that. But I'm still unsure on what the actual beef that these two have is over. Because it sounds like there's a lot of little things that irritated them, but no one can really say what was done to a person. Because Rennie, if you feel like she only dealing with you because of TV, then you could have sent a text or tried to comment or talk to her in some way about that prior to being on TV. But then Sierra, you saying things are awkward with you right now, but you're not saying that she did anything other than make a comment joking to a confessional that was actually pretty factual. So, in my opinion, it sounds like people have been in Rennie's ears and Sierra's too shallow and self centered to see her wrongs. But let's get through the comments. I'm sorry y'all had to wait. Comments, y'all matter. Sierra is a mess. I like Rennie, not to mention I like her music too. A few of her songs, they ratchet. Rennie is actually super talented. In terms of talent, they're not casting, no shade, Cardi B's and Carly Reds and people who can't, they don't have much talent no more. They seem to be casting people who can rap. I do like Rennie's music. Um, but yeah, Sierra is too much. That wasn't cool how that girl, how she brought up that girl's mom. It was unnecessary to the 10th power, maybe to the 50th power. Shani said, a bitch that went in. We do like ratchet sometimes. Absolutely. The only ratchet people I do not listen to is the city girls. I couldn't get into it. I just could not. But that's because of that Young Miami girl can't rap to save her life. DM Rocks, unpopular opinion. I'm liking Bambi this season. I actually don't have an issue with Bambi this season. I don't mind her. I can't fully say like, but I do appreciate the little comments that she's made and where she inserts herself has made sense. I think we're gonna like her more because she's speaking less about Scrappy. Now that he making another baby, she would look like a fool to be tripping. So hey. A bitch that went and said nobody told her to get that big ugly tattoo all over her leg. She has the ugliest tattoos on TV. They are all really ugly. They are. None of her tattoos look good to me. I see what she's going for, but I think the darker your skin is, sometimes you should consider color. You also got to consider how big certain tats are. Whose tattoo do I hate? Mary J. Blige. She has a tattoo on her arm that I've always hated because it just sometimes declasses outfits and stuff. But hey, what can we do? And you shouldn't even have to tell your friend that a friend just knows. That's true. That is true. That's so good. And I think she's relating that to what James said. When James went through his situation, I was telling my husband, I wish I could be there more. And I feel like I should have done more to be supportive. So it's very strange that someone would even give you problems for that. But James knows at any moment if he's ready, I just need the last four of her social and her zip code. Let's see. Shani said, sorry, don't know who the City Girls are. You're not missing anything. I like the City Girls, but I do.
When
Sexy
I
Red
tell
looked like she
y'all,
stank.
living in South Florida, they used to plaster them girls, Sexy Red too, as if they were. And when I know the songs just because you can't get away with not knowing them. I have been in the club with Sexy Red. I've been in the club with Young Miami. I have been in the club where they all were present. I didn't see which one. Look, I don't know the City Girls by name. It wasn't the one Diddy was with. Who was the other one?
JT.
JT. That's who it was. Not Young Miami. JT. I was in a club with her, and I didn't even literally walk right past me and didn't even realize that was her. So yeah.
Hell, that ain't the worst thing. Let me see. She said, I do not like Sexy Red. I can't. She just looks like she stank to me and she has zero talent, but hey, she made it. I have several tattoos. I do as well. And I'm a very, very chocolate woman. And you cannot just put big things on your body. It don't always look the same. Yes, Carisha and JT. Shani said, no tattoos over here. I don't like needles. I'm a big old punk. That's okay,
Saying my
Shani.
tattoo would be crooked as hell.
They
If I
have
got one.
numbing now. You won't even feel it.
Yes, I will. Trust me, that don't work for me.
He said, yes, I will. Are they some beautiful girls? Oh yeah, child. All right, y'all. We gotta move it along. But Sierra, don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. I think Sierra needs to go from this cast because it don't seem like nobody really deal with her but Bambi no more. Just an observation. But the One Music Festival is happening in Atlanta. Um, I'm too old for music festivals these days. I went to some music festival, was that a year ago? My feet was hurting at the end of it, and I wore comfortable shoes. I said, hell, maybe I'm just old. But Saucy Santana's upset. I guess he booked the gig at the last minute. His set time to perform was for 2:30, which is really early for a music festival. He was like, it's hardly anybody there, but no shade to you, Saucy Santana. One, Music Fest is a very large music festival. I've heard of it all the way over here on the West Coast. And two, Saucy Santana has maybe 3 big hits that people like. I know he got Material Girl, Walk, and there's one other that people like. Outside of that, I don't think he's famous or respected enough in the music community yet to get like a set time or something different. Like, I just don't think he's there yet. Just don't. Or whatever the hell. It ain't there. Oh, Booty Booty. Is that the other song? A bitch that wouldn't may listen to music like me. I need to look into that. One Fest is big. It is. It's huge. It's definitely huge. I always say when I visit Atlanta, I need to go with like plans to do something, such as like a music festival. I can't just go for any of that. Shanny said, I don't know any of his music. It's catchy. It's cute. Saucy Santana can actually rap. It's just people get lost in his sexuality and other stuff, and they don't pay attention to that. But Saucy, you still have to put in the work. You may be well known, but the other artists that perform there, you got to put in the work. And the sun was out when Scrappy performed too. So, and he's been famous longer than Saucy and has more relevancy with music, oddly. So, hey, but Jasmine and her ex-boyfriend, Rod, I believe his name is, they all meet up. They didn't go over too much at that festival, but they all meet up. And this is where she tells us again, Rod has been like a second father to Cannon. And the whole thing for me is difficult to talk about because while Jasmine, Rod, and her mama are talking about the baby and the child support and all these things, all I heard is that Kirk, Rashida, and Jasmine are all very absentee parents. It sounds like Rod and maybe the grandma's raising this baby. That's just my personal opinion. But it sounds like Jasmine was unhappy that Kirk offered to give her $1,000 a month in child support. And apparently Cannon does not even call Kirk dad or daddy or papa, whatever the hell. He calls him Yaya. And I'm like, does Yaya mean dad in another language or something? Is there something I'm missing? How did they come up with that? But this little boy calls Rod dad.
I'm so confused.
Here's the thing. For those who don't know, Rod was around when Jasmine first had the baby. I believe she made him think it was his baby, but it wasn't, or something happened with that because
No,
this
she
was.
was in no, when they were on TV, he was in a relationship. There was a relationship with another woman. So it was him, Jasmine, and another woman. And they was playing like they were the Brady Bunch where the girl would have the baby sometimes and then Rob would have the baby sometimes. So they were trying to play house.
Hmm.
That's what it was when they were on the show. So but I never heard her actually physically say that she was trying to put that baby off on Rod. I just think the boy just knows Rod as dad because he was in the house.
Hmm. I think that's messy. People need to be more responsible. Don't have your kids calling someone dad unless their dad truly is not around. Other than that, that's a
I
little
agree.
odd to me. That's a little odd. Or the dad can be okay with it if they got two dads, stepdad, stepmom, things like that. But it's just odd. All I heard is everybody involved is failing this child. All of them. Everybody's wrong. Jasmine, you shouldn't have had this baby. I'm sorry. The child may be a blessing, but you shouldn't have had a baby by somebody married. Now you're crying to us. And this is, I'm not saying we have to beat her up for being his mistress because, yes, Kirk is equally responsible, but so is Jasmine. She knew he was married when she got with him. She knew that he had a history of cheating. She knew that his soldiers marched and that she would likely get pregnant. You're not going to tell me that you working in a strip club and you're not on birth control. You're not going to tell me that, Jasmine. You're just not. So I do think that she intentionally got pregnant by him, hoping that she could, get the check, thinking I'll get more than I need for the child support. That hasn't worked out in the way that she's needed. And so now it seems like she's complaining. As for Kirk, sounds like he's an absent, ain't shit father who is now feeling like his wallets are being tugged at, and he wants to stop that, not take care of or get to know his child. So he gonna go to court and figure I'll just have Rashida raise him. That's what I think is happening. So I pray that this little boy is in a great school or that Rod really does make a difference in his life, because based on Kirk and Jasmine, the actual parents of this child is gonna struggle. Before we move on, James, you have anything to add?
Nope, we can move on.
Shani says she thinks Scrappy lazy. Yaga's grandma in Greek. I remember that from my big fat Greek wedding. Oh yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right. But these
I
people
don't even
like Greek.
remember that. The only thing I remember is the dad spraying Windex on everything.
I haven't watched that movie in over a decade. Ooh, that's so sad. I really have not. I watched Shallow Hal the other day. It was
Ooh,
very
girl,
random.
blast from the past. I forgot about
Random.
that.
I'm not gonna lie. I was smoking some weed and was just like, whatever, I'll just watch what's on TV. And I was chuckling all to myself. But Jessica White is the next person we got to discuss. She was upset with Shekinah and Spice for ruining her party. Jessica, watch shows before you go on them, because if you did, you would know that Shekinah and Spice are nobody's friends. They're messy. All they do on this show is fight so much that they make fans who come on this show to see the fights tired of fighting. So I don't fully feel bad for Jessica. I don't know what the hell she expected, but she meets with her niece, Robin, who I don't believe is her actual niece. I do not believe it. I should not put some Windex on. I used to like that movie. So random to even be watching it, but sometimes an old movie is good. Child, this James, do you believe this Robin chick is actually Jessica White's niece?
No, because I don't remember her ever mentioning that she had any siblings. She seemed like she just popped up out of nowhere.
I know she had siblings, but her siblings don't look like they would have a child as old as her niece. That's the sibling we
Well,
saw, but I don't know. It could be the child of another sibling, but it's giving that's her play niece or something.
oh, I don't remember. I don't pay attention to Jessica Boy, bitch they went in. I mean, it could be an Aunt Nikki situation, Aunt Nikki and Jermisha situation. It really could be, where they're not probably that far apart in age. So I don't
Oh,
know.
it's just weird. And the girl's so quiet and quick to listen to Jessica. So I was like, this whole dynamic is strange. But we did meet her sisters when we first met Jessica. When she was having her fibroid surgery, they were there to support her. Shani said, I was about to ask if she had brothers and sisters. Her sisters look to be in their 40s, late 40s, maybe. Jessica's in her late 30s. Okay. That would make a little sense. I don't know. The niece was so silent, though. She didn't have too much to say. The whole situation is weird. She basically shows her receipts for Mendices, which weren't really receipts. It kind of incriminated her own niece because, okay, if y'all was talking on IG, then you know that this man got his woman. He makes that clear on IG. There's no way for her niece to have not known, but something just seems off with the situation. But thank you for the receipts. Do you have any comments on the receipts, James?
No, we can save it for the end.
Okay. So for some reason, oh yes, please like the button, like the button. I appreciate y'all who like the video. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, twin. Thank you, 10. But bitch, they winning. The whole thing is weird. I can agree there. The whole situation is odd. Because why are you putting your niece on TV to talk about how she's a potential side chick to this man? That's weird. But okay, Jessica, you don't have to be intelligent to model. And we've seen Jessica's dating choices. So we definitely know that she struggles. But I don't understand why Rod decided to meet with Kirk. You are not this child's legal father. You may matter, but I don't feel like this was a space for him to meet with them. But they do. And Kirk says that they are in court because of Jasmine, not him, even though he's the one that took her to court. He's countersuing for full custody. Now, Kirk says that he is $204,000 deep in this child. And that pissed me off because even though he's been given the money, why are you you say you're a $200,000 deep into your child? It cost over $1 million to raise a child for 18 years the way cost works here in America right now. So if you're just $204,000 in, sir, shut the fuck up. Kids are expensive. If you don't want to pay, then, wrap it up. Get a vasectomy. Do something. Don't sit up here saying, I put this money into my kid. Because when your kid gets older and sees that, he's going to feel like you're just labeling him as a number. Why are you counting exactly what in the actual
I agree. I was like, why are you counting the money you put into your child? Like, why does that matter? Like, get him off my Rashida. Well, she a clown anyway, so it is what it is.
It disgusted me. I don't think he realizes how bad that looked. Like, don't put a dollar amount on it. If my dad ever said some shit like that to me, I'd be like, I won't never ask you for nothing again, sir. I don't even understand how you could say that about your child. But Kirk then pulls out receipts to show that he has been helping out not just the baby, but Jasmine. $4,300 was sent for her to fix her car. I said, what the hell happened to your car? Because the only reason fixing a car is going to cost that much is if it's something like a transmission or vacuum filter. I used to work with cars, y'all, for many, many years. So it's like something that takes that long. The only thing I can think is like a transmission if they're like rebuilding it or there's a leak somewhere and they have to go into a hose and find the leak.
It's like, well, what kind of car do you have then? At the end of the day, what is because this don't sound like no 1997 Nissan Sentra. So what do you have here?
I'm trying to figure it out because my car, it's not the newest car. It's a 2021 year, but there's nothing on that car that costs that much to fix
buy a
unless
whole
I'm
other
replacing
car
the
for
whole
$4,300. Like,
right. Put a down payment on something new. Exactly. Why is he sending her money for the car? That's the only thing that could go wrong is the engine or drivetrain. And a lot of times with those things, the way cars are made now, if that goes out, just buy another one. Usually it's the same amount. So, and I would have a problem with that too, because my man can send, if my man had a baby mama, he don't because he's responsible. But if he did, I'd be okay with him, helping the baby mama, but trust and believe he's not doing nothing outside of that court order unless he is actively buying the item for the baby. Oh, you need money? Why do you need this money? Oh, because the kid needs clothes for
you
school?
got a limit. Dude, that
Right.
you giving somebody. You ain't finna pay no for. You be lucky you get $1,000 out of me, but I'm just saying.
Mm-mm. It's
Yeah,
just crazy to me. It's absolute insanity. But when Rod sees these receipts, he's mad at Jasmine because he feels blindsided and says that Jasmine's playing innocent. Hello. You can never turn a hoe into a housewife, and you
I
can't
was
trust
just
no
gonna say,
bitch
sir,
that
you had
moves
her in a
like that.
relationship with you and a whole nother broad. So I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from him.
Rod, this is why you mind your black owned business. You may be there and present for Carter. What is his name? The little boy. I can't
And
think of this. Cannon. You may be there for him, but you are not his actual parents. You do not know what's going on. You're also not in a relationship with Jasmine. So why are you even meeting with Kirk? I like the way he handled it. He didn't go off, but it's like she made a baby with a married man. The bitch is trash. You can't expect nothing from her. Not one that's separated either. An actively married man. So I don't. The whole scene was stupid. You have anything to add, James Jackson?
no, we can move on.
Now, Santana made a wild post about his ex, talking about somebody bloodied his face, and Bambi and Rennie come to be fake supportive. It just felt very disingenuous to me. However, what happened is Saucy Santana had, I guess, some other ex, because apparently he got all these toxic exes. And the ex is over his house. They get into an argument, things get violent. It sounds like the ex is abusive towards Saucy. And they took the opportunity to speak about domestic violence in relationships. Saucy also says that, fans want him to be quiet about it when he posted that because they was like, that's two men fighting, which I understand both sides of it. Domestic violence can happen in same sex relationships, transgender relationships, heterosexual relationships. You should not, regardless if you're dating a woman and you're a woman, a man and you're a man, or some other combination, you should not put your hands on your partner. You just shouldn't. Then you shouldn't put your hands on nobody if they don't put their hands on you. That's my motto in life now that I'm older. However, I do understand some people lose their shit and may, smack somebody upside their head. But at the same time, that doesn't make it right. And I think it's a thin line when it comes to relationships because in general, we tolerate more from the people that we date or live with than we would with other people on the street or even our friends. So I'm glad that he spoke about that. But at the same time, Saucy, if these are not your friends, go talk to your real friends about this. That's how I feel about the issue. I'm sorry that he went through what he went through, but why are you meeting up with your exes in the first place? Aren't you talking to the chef? Allegedly still talking to Zell? Stop meeting with your exes. Sometimes it's okay to leave people in the past and move on. I get that with domestic violence, it goes up and down, back and forth. I get that. But I think what the audience was trying to explain to you is at least it's a man hitting a man versus in DV relationships where there's a woman and a man. If a man hits a woman, that can hurt her. That can hurt her much worse than men hitting each other. Woman is less likely to be able to defend herself. So it's like, I understand Saucy feeling not supported because you don't want to be reminded of that. Fans could have just been quiet and been like, sorry that happened, moved on. But at the same time, it's also important to acknowledge that men are stronger than women. When it's a situation with two men involved, the best thing they could do is leave. There's not a lot of resources for men dealing with domestic violence in same sex relationships in general, nationwide. A lot of DV support does align with supporting women because the government and nonprofits are going to think to support the person who could get physically injured. Not saying it can't happen with them, but I appreciate him for speaking on it. I think it was a teachable thing, a teachable moment. But at the same time, don't deal with this person, move on from your exes and keep it moving. James, how did you feel about that?
I agree with you. It was a really weird scene, but then also that does happen in the community a lot, where depending on who he deals with, if they're anything like Zale, I could see this happening.
Yep.
And so for me, I just feel like he needs to do some soul searching and stop attracting men that are one, that violent, and then two, that hard up in, whatever dynamic he's in. Because it's just
Yeah.
going to continue to happen until you do soul searching within you and then attract the better energy of yourself versus the worst part, the ratchetness that everyone tends to like in
Hmm.
that community. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, he just needs to do better with his choices and who he's dating. And I don't want people to have the narrative that he's trying to paint as, oh, yeah, in the hood, this just what we do. It's okay, because it's not. I'm from one too. And it's not that way. I done dated niggas that's just all through the streets and doing the craziest of things, love to fight. But when it comes to me, entirely gentle, or with any other woman, gentle. So I think it depends on the person, not always the neighborhood. These things happen in several different socioeconomic statuses, neighborhoods, all those different things. So good for you, Saucy, but make better choices, my darling. Now we then see Jessica White meet up with Yandy, and this is where James is gonna have a lot to say because what the hell? What the hell? What in the actual hell? So she meets with Yandy and she starts crying. I'm like, bitch, why are you crying if you're not the one that's being cheated on or harmed? If you're coming to Yandy to talk to her about her husband trying to talk to other women, why the fuck are you crying? I would be so irritated if somebody came to me and was like, Amina, I saw your husband cheating on you. Bitch, why are you crying?
Then what is you crying for? Right? Is you the one that did it? Like, I'm trying to figure out, what are you crying for?
Why are you crying? Hell, so strange. So Jessica's crying and she tells Yandy that Mendices has been trying to get at her niece. Um, Yandy says to Jessica, wipe your tears. I say, oh, here she come with her dramatics. So she tells her to wipe her tears, and Jessica shows her the DMs between her niece and Mendices. And Yandy swears. She says, it was me. And Jessica's like, huh? She said, it was me. I'm the one that DM'd her. Yandy, you know damn well you did not DM this woman. Why? Why would you DM her? Mendices is not unattractive, okay? So I am sure that there are women in his DMs consistently. I'm pretty sure that they are. They've spoken about this before. This has been an issue. I think he's now given into the temptation because I don't think these two are a happy couple anymore. They probably just together for convenience, but I don't think they're actually an actively happily in love, healthy couple. Why would you message the girl just to message her? And it looks like those are the receipts we saw, but it looks like there could have been more receipts. Why? And then also, the girl was supposed to be in the club with him when this happened, and you were nowhere to be found. Now you claim you were there. So, Yandy, you're not good at lying. You're definitely not good at lying. You should stick to opening businesses, your Yale skincare. And that's really it, because she's not even good at politics. I can't take her seriously. You can't lead my people while you can't even lead your household. That's just how I feel. But I don't believe Yandy worth a damn that she would message him. I also feel like that's childish as fuck to do at Yandy's big age.
Thank you.
Why am I going to? That's childish. Like if
It's
somebody,
stupid. It's stupid, and then you're feeding the narrative.
yep,
You're feeding the narrative that if you're the one responding to the ladies in the DMs, then you're acknowledging that ladies go into his DMs and do exactly what the fuck everyone is saying, which is him cheating on you. Why
yep,
are you doing this? And what kind of time do you have to do this?
thank
That's
you.
why I'm with you. I don't believe this either. I don't believe for 1 second that she be in his DMs messaging those women. I think she caught him and then planted this story so it would make him look better. I really do. Y'all know Yandy is calculated as hell.
Yep.
So of course she
That's
would
why
do this.
nobody liked her when she was on Love and Hip Hop New York. Yandy struggled to make and keep friends because she always is made out to be some type of a liar to a certain extent. So I don't believe her at all. She built her career managing artists, so she knows her first thought, I think, from managing artists and trying to protect the image is to lie or cover stuff up. So it does align, like what she tried to do with this bullshit. It does align. And I agreed with Jessica. I don't believe that that was Yandy messaging my niece. Jessica said, but I'm not going to further hurt a woman that I could tell is broken. And Yandy walks next door, because I guess Mendices is next door. And she grabs him and tells him he is miking up because he didn't want to be on camera for whatever reason. And he looked annoyed with her for even coming next door. And that tells me right there, he was probably just nearby because of the requirement for filming. But they ain't that cool. They just not. But she tells Mendices to mic up and says that she owes Mendices an apology for DMing this girl, aka Jessica's niece, from IG. Yandy's anger is misplaced. She starts crying. Everyone's trying to break me and my family. Nobody said that this would break you. They're just trying to make you aware of what's going on. That's girl code. Good for you, Jessica, for telling her and coming to her with a receipt instead of just talking about it with other people like other people on this cast do and then playing dumb when you're confronted on it. At least Jessica went to the source and tried to tell her what was good. So Yandy and her tears, as soon as she started crying, I said, oh, he messed up and got caught. And that's why she's crying. Because I personally think that they both be cheating on each other left and right and just have an arrangement or something. That's how I think. Because why are you in tears
Why
if
are
he
you
didn't
in
do
tears and
nothing?
you're the one who said you was the one responding to the girls in the DMs? So what the fuck are you mad at?
Right. Thank you.
I'm just
Thank
so
you.
confused, and this is why I want to go off on her because I'm tired of her playing in people's face. You
Mm-hmm.
just said you were the one that was on the DMs and you told Jessica not to cry. Now here your ass go talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, sitting over talking about y'all need to stop this right now. What the fuck do we need to stop? You're the one who's doing it. What do we need to stop? If he's doing it, then let him do it. If you're doing it, then shut the hell up about it. That's where you messed up at, Yandy. You messed up by saying you were the one who did it.
Yeah.
So what you're doing now that makes us further believe now that he is probably out there doing something he ain't got no business doing because you're willing to cover for him.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
So therefore, any rumor that I hear from him now going forward after this episode, I'm gonna automatically believe it. And I'm gonna believe you had a hand in it. And I feel like you have a hand in it because you don't want nobody to go through what your shit is in this situation, which I do believe Andy has somebody else. I do. And I said this and I'm gonna continue to say it. And this right here feeds that narrative even more. The fact that you have access to his DMs and you DM the women that DM him. That's the distracting part, so he won't catch on to you. I got you, Andy. I got it. Thank you, man, for letting your slip show this time.
Yeah. Yeah. And her lace didn't match. Just saying. In that scene, she mad and crying, and I'm looking at how her lace front was shade 230 with Il Makiage, but the rest of her face was shade 212. And I was wondering why they didn't mix them. That's just me. But yeah, Yandy, nobody believes you. Anybody who does believe you might be getting cheated on. Check your man's phone. I'm just saying. So that's really all that happened this episode. We will see more. Not much happened with this episode. Not much happened with Miami. Not much happened with Beverly Hills. It's just been like a slower week for these shows, but that is okay. I think we can all agree, yeah, he's full of shit. We know she's full of shit. If you're being cheated on and you know it, leave. Please don't be another Rashida. We don't want it. I still don't even know why you here. Go back to New York, Andy, but that's just my opinion. But we will be back, not on my channel. We'll be on James's channel tomorrow. The link is in the description to his channel for those who are not subscribed to him or who are interested. We're going to be discussing the Housewives of Atlanta and our opinions on the cast, predictions, things of that nature on his channel tomorrow. You said 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Correct.
And 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 8 p.m. your time. Did I get that right? No? 7
It will be
p.m.?
7 o'clock my time.
Okay, shit. I always forget about Central or whatever. What time zone are you in, James?
Mountain. So it's mountain time.
Oh, I'm always I mix you up with Central. I don't know. Y'all get the gist. Check out the link in the description. We appreciate everybody for being here. Shout out to our replay gang, those who watch us when we're no longer live. Feel free to drop a comment of your opinion even when we're not live. We will respond. And other than that, we'll see you guys next week. And happy hump day. Adios.
Adios.